Okay, horse natives, we're going to be covering 3 points. First, we're going to be looking at where you are in the 12-year cycle. Second, we're going to look at how your sign interacts with the sign of the year, which is pig. And then we're going to look at a specific Feng Shui cure for you to bring in prosperity energy. All right, let's look at your 12-year cycle. When we look at the 12-year cycle, I like to compare it to a cycle of farming. So this would be 4 periods in a year of 3 months each, but in a 12-year cycle, this would be 4 periods of 3 years each. When we look at the cycle, we find that you are in the last year of your seed tending year. So you are in the 5th year of your 12-year cycle. So the first section is seed planting, the second is seed tending, then it's harvest, and then seed saving. And you're in just before the harvest period. This means when you would walk out in the fields, the corn is growing, there's fruit on the trees, there's berries on the bushes, but it's not quite ready to eat. All those strawberries are there, but they're still green and hard and sour. And so this is still a time where you are basically tending your plants. You are keeping the weeds out, you are keeping all the pests away, so you're working pretty hard, but you are just about at the harvest period. Now in life, this could mean that you're finishing up a long period of school or education. It could mean that you were in an entry-level position and you're almost ready to move up. It may mean that there's still certifications to do or some other credentialing that needs to happen before you move up. It can mean also that you're still a little bit uncertain whether this is going to be the best place for you because the real money and opportunities hasn't quite manifested yet. Now, in relationships, this can be that you're in a dating situation and you're uncertain about whether this is going to move to where you want it to go, which might be living together or marriage. Or if you're in a marriage, you find that you're still having to work pretty hard at communication and understanding in this relationship. And so this is where you're at, and it does mean it's hard work, but it also means that you know that in the next 3 years after 2019, that you have some amazing opportunities coming. And so if you can just keep your nose to the grindstone, keep working, you're going to do just fine. Now let's look at how the sign of horse does with the energy of pig, which is going to be for the whole year. Now, when we have the sign of the year, we have a lot of people who emulate that sign. And so we have horse and pig. And while these two animals do come from the barnyard, they're not as compatible as they could be. Pig likes to be in the pen and, relaxed and comfortable. But sometimes when horse is pent up in a pen, it feels like it wants to get out. It wants to go run and be free. Pig energy is very much about staying home, and sitting on the sofa and just talking amongst friends, where horse native wants to run free and go meet new people and be the center of attention. So we have some incompatibilities, but we also have some familiarity with this energy. And this is that horse does know how to communicate, does know how to make people feel like they're valued, like they're interesting, and this will be a great skill for you to use this year, because when you're dealing with other people, people are going to want to feel that connection with you, and so you can bestow that on them. The challenging part is that most people are not going to go want to do the things you want to do. And that is both in personal life and in business. So you might say to yourself, hey, I want to go start a business, and you're a videographer, you would be great at this, and you know how to do websites, we should gather together. And they're like, oh, I'm so busy, I have so many other things to do. And so you're going to have that little bit of trouble this year trying to get people on board with what what you want to do. This goes also for when you're sending out your resume. People are going to say, I love your resume. I think it's fantastic. I see you're definitely management material, but we have no management positions open. So would you be willing to take this lesser position in the meantime? So there's going to be lots of this idea of compromising. That's okay, because you're going to have future years where things are going to be abundant and much easier. And so making some compromises this year is advisable. Now, also consider that of all the animals of the Chinese zodiac, who could pivot faster than a horse? So if something comes up and it looks like a block, like somebody's saying no, give them 3 or 4 different scenarios where it could work for them. Look at how you can get what you want and what they can want and find that win-win situation. Now, also, this is not a year to be approaching people very directly on things. So if you're feeling confrontational, if you're feeling like, hey, I'm not getting a fair shake, this is not going to be a time where you're going to get really a straight answer. This is a time where people may, to your face, say wonderful things and then go off to their friends and say, oh my gosh, that person's so mean, I'm so scared of them, whatever. So you want to be very diplomatic this year. Not try to confront people directly, but give scenarios where you say, well, this is where I was wrong, this is where maybe you could rethink it. You're going to have to step a little lightly. So every year I choose a Feng Shui cure to help that individual sign bring in prosperity energy. And for this year, I chose for horse natives the abacus. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this device. An abacus is an old-fashioned calculator. And it's so amazing that when people are really schooled in an abacus, when they can use it, they can actually do calculations faster than we can with a calculator. So you don't need to have a gigantic abacus. You could get a little replica abacus. You could get one that is a toy or one that is very decorative. You want to place this on your desk in your home office, or you can hang this on a wall near your entryway. Now, this is a reminder that it's important for you to calculate what benefits you're getting, what benefits you're giving in all situations. Because this is a year of compromise, you want to make sure that everybody is winning. And so this is a reminder that everybody can win and that can bring you prosperity. It also is a reminder to say, what is bringing me money? When you are in your seed tending years, it's very important to determine what's a plant and what's a weed. You do not want to spend all your time and energy and end up with something that's not edible. So you want to look at everything that you're doing, all your projects, where you're spending your time, and saying, is this really bringing me value? And that's the symbol of the abacus. So place your abacus, as I said, on your desk or near your entryway, and then about once a month you want to dust it off and just remind yourself, oh yes, I'm supposed to be calculating. Is this a win-win situation? And am I deriving value from how I'm spending my time? And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I do teach classes on Feng Shui, so check out my website. The link is in the description box below. And I'll see you in the next video.